my name is Rachel Cymbal. I am so blessed to be able to share with you about my experience in Thailand this summer. I went to Thailand for the month of July with my cousin Kayla, and the moment I got off the plane, I noticed the beautiful country, mountains everywhere, and not only is the country beautiful, but the people, so many smiles. Thailand, though, is very deeply rooted in Buddhism, which is very sad to see because people give hope to statues and they put everything they have into giving back to these statues in order for Buddha to be pleased with them. And the truth of the matter is, without Christ, they can never become better and they can never truly reach the place that they want to. I'm going to tell you a story about how love can transform people and the power of prayer. Part of the ministry that I did was in Chiang Mai. In Chiang Mai, we partnered with a local ministry called Zion Cafe. Zion Cafe sends missionaries out into the red light district at night to basically love on prostitutes that were owned by pimps. This was a very eye-opening experience. Our motto was to be same, but different. Now, if you're in the red light district, it's very hard not to become angry with the men who are purchasing these women. So we had to be the same. We had to be the same as any tourist that would be there. We had to look the same, but we also had to be different in the way that we loved on people and the way that we acted towards these prostitutes. My first night in the red light district, I became very close friends with one of the girls who actually worked there. It's cool because I got to know her so well that by the end of my time in the red light district, she was calling me her friend, saying how close we were, and that was an awesome experience. And I showed her love, and she began to unfold her life story about how she didn't want to be where she was at. She didn't want to be selling herself. She wanted to feel like she had value. She wanted to feel worthy of someone one day, and it was so sad to see that every single night she was selling herself out, and it was hard for me to watch her walk away as men would by her. We became really close, like I said earlier, but it's hard because when you're in the red light district, you can't be in one bar for too long because you have to be respectful that is the way they made their money. So every night I'd go see her for several minutes, and then I would go on to another bar and love on other ladies there. In the red light district, there are not only prostitutes who are owned by pimps, but there are bars called ladyboy bars, who are ladyboys are transvestites, and they were also owned by pimps. These transvestites, it was really hard for me to see because I saw these people who changed their sex because they did not feel worthy, they did not feel loved, they didn't feel good enough. And my first initial reaction when I saw them, honestly, was to walk the other way. I was like, I can't do this, God, this is too much for me, and I couldn't do it. But God kept speaking to me, kept saying, you have to do this, Rachel. And out of obedience to God, did I go into those ladyboy bars. And it was hard for me. My mind was filling with these negative emotions. And I almost had a meltdown right there in the bar. But God reminded me, saying, Rachel, you're here for a reason. Rachel, love on these people. Come on, Rachel, you need to see them the way I see them. Don't look at their outward appearance. And that was a huge lesson that I know I needed to be obedient to God and be like, okay, when my mind started filling with these negative emotions, I prayed to God. I said, all right, God, use me. God, fill me with your love for these people. Let my eyes see through your eyes. And the moment I prayed that, it happened, and God filled me. I saw these transvestites, and I wanted to share Christ's love with them. After these several minutes with them, and my mind was kind of going in so many different directions, and after I prayed, God filled me, and I spent an hour and a half with these transvestites, and they actually began to unravel their story to me. One of them talked about how her family totally wouldn't talk to her. They totally didn't have any respect for her. They didn't communicate with her. They said that they wanted nothing to do with her. She had no hope. She was selling her body. Um, she was still trying to figure out who she was. And the fact of the matter is, she didn't have hope. She didn't experience love. And when I came into that bar, she was calling me her friend. She was thanking me for everything and just said, "Thank you for listening." She was over the top, overjoyed that she met me. And that experience means the world to me. Just the power of prayer, how when you are obedient to God and when you obey what He asked you to do, the blessing that follows that. And I know that night I made an impact in someone's life. I know a seed was planted. I don't know um, what that lady boy is doing now. I don't know if maybe, hopefully, they got out of the red light district. But you know what? God is so good, and that seeds are planted, and now it's up to Him to grow that seed. And I can only hope to one day be a part of that lady boy's testimony. I want to thank you, Epic Church, for sending me to Thailand, for having such an impact in someone's life. I want to thank you for, through me and sending me out, being able to share God's love through outreach.